In the far reaches of space, many stars shone quietly, but one place was colder than the rest. It was called the Silent Void. Long ago, this area was filled with life, trade, and power. Great alien empires ruled there, their fleets moving like shadows across the galaxies. But now it was empty, dead, forgotten. No one remembered why the powerful empire that once lived there had disappeared. Some said it was a punishment from the universe. Others believed it was a secret war, a disaster no one wanted to speak about. What remained were giant ruins floating in space, metal skeletons of ships, broken stations, and strange machines covered in dust. The other alien civilizations watched the Silent Void with caution but no fear. They called it the Ghost Zone. Their ships rarely entered, and if they did, they stayed only for a short time. They believed the area was too dangerous, full of traps or old weapons that could still harm the living. Humanity, however, had a different view. Earth was just learning to step into the stars, and humans were eager, curious, and bold. The Earth Space Agency, working with the United Nations, decided to send a mission to explore the Silent Void. They wanted to learn its secrets. They wanted to know why this part of space was silent. Captain Aisha Kumar stood on the bridge of the starship Endeavour. Her eyes scanned the deep black of space through the large viewing window. The stars looked the same as always, but beyond them, something new waited. Something unknown. "This is our chance," she said quietly to herself, "to show we are ready." The Endeavour was a small ship, not as big as the giant alien cruisers seen in old space movies, but it was fast and smart. Its technology mixed Earth's newest discoveries with ideas learned from older alien designs. Humanity was still learning, but they were clever. Inside the ship, the crew was busy preparing. Scientists checked their instruments. Engineers tested the engines. Everyone felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. They were stepping into a place no one had gone for thousands of years. The journey to the Silent Void took weeks. As they moved closer, strange things began to appear on their sensors. Large metal shapes drifted in space. Strange signals pulsed quietly. Sometimes the crew heard strange noises, soft hums or echoes that seemed to come from nowhere. Dr. Leon, the lead scientist, studied the readings. "These ruins," she explained during a meeting, "are unlike anything we have seen. The technology here is far older but more advanced than anything humans have built. It's like the universe forgot these machines, but they still work." Captain Kumar nodded. "We have to be careful. There may be dangers we don't understand yet." Finally, the Endeavour reached the first ruin, a massive space station drifting silently. Its walls were cracked, and many parts were missing. The station was dark with no signs of life, but inside, the ship's scanners found something strange, energy readings coming from deep inside the structure. A small team, including Captain Kumar and Dr. Leon, prepared to board the station. There, suits were strong, made for harsh environments. They stepped through the airlock and floated inside. The station was a ghost. Long corridors lined with broken panels. Silent rooms filled with strange machines that blinked weakly. No life signs. No sounds except the crew's breathing. Then they reached a large control room. Screens flickered with old data. Symbols and language no one understood filled the walls. Dr. Leon touched the control panel carefully. Suddenly, the machines reacted. Lights blinked, and a holographic map appeared. It showed the star systems the ancient empire once controlled, and at the center was a red dot, an unknown system far beyond what any galactic map showed. Captain Kumar looked at the map, her heart racing. "What is that place?" Dr. Leon's eyes widened. "I don't know, but it looks like it was important." Before they could investigate more, the ship's sensors detected a sudden energy surge. The station trembled as if waking from a long sleep. The crew hurried back to the Endeavour, and the ship jumped back into space just as the station shut down again. Back on the Endeavour, the mood was serious. The crew realized they had found a clue, something the galaxy had forgotten. Something dangerous. Word spread quickly when the Endeavour returned to Earth. The scientists and leaders were amazed and worried. The silent void was not empty. It held secrets and power beyond imagination, but not everyone was happy. Some alien powers who had ignored the silent void for centuries began to pay attention. They sent their own ships, watching humanity with suspicion. Humanity was young in the galaxy. They had no great empire, no ancient weapons. But they had one thing no one expected: courage and a fierce desire to understand the unknown. And so the story of humanity's rise in the galaxy began, not as a feared conqueror, but as the curious explorers who awakened the silent void. The news from the silent void spread quickly through Earth's governments and scientific communities. Humanity had found something incredible, a chance to learn from the lost empire that once ruled those stars. The ruins held technology that no one had seen before. It was a puzzle, but also a promise. At the Earth Space Agency headquarters, the room was full of excitement. Scientists from all over the world worked day and night. They studied the data sent by the starship Endeavour. They tried to understand the alien machines, the strange energy signals, and the map of stars. Dr. Leon was at the center of it all. She led a team of engineers and researchers working to unlock the secrets buried in the ruins. They used new computers, alien symbols, and years of hard work. Slowly, piece by piece, the technology began to reveal itself. "It's like nothing we have ever seen," Dr. Leon said one morning, pointing at a glowing blueprint on the screen. "The power systems are based on energy fields we can barely imagine. If we can figure out how to control this, our ships could travel faster and farther than ever before." Her team was excited but cautious. The machines were old and strange, and they didn't want to make mistakes. Meanwhile, the world watched with curiosity and hope. News channels talked about the discovery nonstop. People dreamed about humanity's place among the stars. Young children imagined flying on alien ships. Scientists believed this was the moment Earth would change forever. But not everyone was happy. Far beyond Earth, in a great galactic empire called the Zyran Dominion, the rulers frowned at the news. The Zyrans had long controlled many star systems, including some near the silent void. They had dismissed humanity as unimportant, a small species barely able to send ships beyond their home world. Admiral Sorex, one of the Dominion's strongest leaders, stood on the bridge of his massive warship. He watched the reports coming in from his spies. "Humans are waking the giant," he said with a sharp tone. "If they succeed, they could upset the balance of power. We cannot allow that." But for now, the Dominion did nothing but watch. Back on Earth, humanity worked hard to adapt the ancient technology. They took the old ships' designs and rebuilt them with human ideas. The new ships were faster and stronger than anything they had before. Their weapons used energy fields that could punch through the toughest armor. The engines could reach speeds that made even veteran space pilots dizzy. Captain Aisha Kumar was called back to lead the next mission. This time, the starship Endeavour, Daidu, was bigger and more powerful. It carried a crew of hundreds, including soldiers, scientists, and engineers. They were ready to return to the silent void, not just to explore, but to claim it. As the Endeavour II prepared to leave, Captain Kumar looked at her crew. "We don't know what we will find," she said, "but we will show the galaxy that humanity is ready. We are no longer forgotten." The journey was faster this time. The new engines pushed the ship through space at incredible speed. When they reached the silent void, they found more ruins. Ships larger than any Earth vessel, space stations bigger than cities, and machines still humming with low energy. The crew began to explore carefully. They scanned every corner, gathering data and searching for more secrets. They found rooms filled with ancient computers and data crystals. They found weapons hidden for thousands of years, waiting for someone to use them again. One day, deep inside a giant shipwreck, Dr. Leon's team found something incredible, a device unlike any other. It was a control core, glowing softly with power. The team brought it back to the Endeavour II for study. "We think this core controls the entire ship," Dr. Leon explained. "If we can use it, we could unlock the full power of the ancient Empire's technology." Captain Kumar nodded. "Then we must protect it. This could change everything." But the discovery did not go unnoticed. Across the galaxy, other species watched the humans with growing concern. The Zyran Dominion sent scouts to follow the Endeavor too. Other powers sent spies and diplomats, some curious, others cautious. The humans faced challenges too. Some crew members worried the ancient machines might be dangerous. There were strange malfunctions on the ship, systems turning on and off, lights flickering, and sometimes odd sounds in the corridors. Some crew whispered about a hidden presence, but no one knew for sure. Despite these fears, the humans pushed forward. They learned quickly, adapting the technology to their needs. Engineers combined alien designs with human creativity, making the machines more reliable and efficient. Scientists made discoveries about energy, matter, and space that could change science forever. Captain Kumar led daring missions to secure more ruins. They faced hazards, collapsing structures, energy storms, and malfunctioning machines. But each success gave humanity more confidence. One evening, after a long day of work, Captain Kumar stood on the observation deck. She looked out at the stars shining over the silent void. "We may be small in the galaxy," she said quietly to herself. "But we have something no one else does: hope, courage, and the will to rise." And so, humanity began awakening the giant that had been forgotten for so long. They were no longer just survivors on a small blue planet. They were becoming a force that the galaxy would soon remember. The silent void, once thought empty and quiet, began to show signs of life again. But not the kind of life the humans had hoped for. After months of studying and exploring the ancient ruins, strange things started to happen on the Endeavor 2 and nearby ships. Systems would glitch without reason. Lights flickered in empty corridors. Crew members reported hearing faint whispers or feeling watched, but there was never anything visible. Dr. Leon was the first to admit there was something unusual. "It's as if something is waking up," she told Captain Aisha Kumar during a meeting on the bridge. Captain Kumar frowned. "Waking up? What do you mean?" "I don't know exactly," Dr. Leon said. "But the energy readings and strange signals suggest some kind of ancient mechanism or life form is stirring in the ruins, something that was dormant for thousands of years." The crew felt a growing tension. Most had volunteered for exploration, but none expected to face unknown dangers lurking in the shadows. One day, during a routine scan of a large shipwreck, the Endeavor 2's sensors picked up a sudden burst of energy deep inside the wreck. It was a powerful pulse, unlike anything they had recorded before. Captain Kumar ordered a small team to investigate. They donned their suits and entered the shipwreck carefully. The corridors were dark and quiet, except for the distant hum of ancient machines. As they moved deeper, the energy grew stronger. Suddenly, a large chamber opened before them. Inside was a massive biomechanical creature, partially asleep but slowly coming to life. It looked like a giant made of metal and organic matter, with glowing red eyes and long, twisting limbs. The creature was covered in armor plates that shone, like dark crystals, and strange wires connected its body to the walls. The team froze. They had heard stories of ancient weapons and machines, but this was beyond anything imagined. "We need to get back," one of the soldiers whispered. But before they could leave, the creature's eyes opened wide. It let out a low, rumbling growl that shook the walls. Back on the Endeavor 2, alarms blared. The biomechanical giant had activated and was moving toward the ship. Captain Kumar gave the order to prepare for battle. The crew worked quickly, powering up the new energy weapons and shields. The creature attacked with terrifying strength. It fired energy blasts from its arms and swung massive limbs that could crush metal. The crew fought bravely, using every weapon they had learned to build from the ancient technology. But the giant was relentless. Meanwhile, on Earth, the news of the attack spread fast. The leaders were shocked. They had hoped the silent void would be a place of discovery, not war. The galactic powers who had ignored humanity began to watch closely. Some sent fleets to observe the fight. Others sent messages warning humanity to stop meddling with things they did not understand. Captain Kumar refused to give up. "We did not come here to run," she said firmly. If this creature is a threat to the galaxy, we must stop it. The battle lasted for hours. The Endeavour 2 and its crew used everything they had learned. They found weak points in the giant's armor and used coordinated strikes. Slowly, the creature began to weaken. Finally, with a powerful energy blast, the giant collapsed, its systems shutting down. The crew breathed heavily, but there was no time to celebrate. They knew this was only the beginning. Dr. Leon examined the creature's remains. This biomechanical giant was once a weapon of war, she explained. It was designed to destroy entire civilizations, but it was forgotten, left behind when the Empire fell. Captain Kumar nodded. And now it is awake again. What else could be out there? The galactic powers, seeing humanity's struggle, began to reconsider their view of the young species. No longer just curious explorers, humans were warriors, fighting to protect themselves, and maybe the whole galaxy. The silent void was no longer silent. It was alive with shadows of the past, and humanity had to face them head-on. After the battle with the biomechanical giant, the silent void was no longer quiet. Something had changed. Humanity had awakened more than old machines. Somewhere deep in the ruins, ancient systems were turning on. Signals were being sent. Signals no one could read, but everyone could feel. Back on the Endeavour 2, Captain Aisha Kumar stood in the command center, her face calm but serious. Around her, the crew worked fast. Engineers repaired damaged systems, scientists studied the remains of the giant, and soldiers trained for what might come next. Dr. Leon looked tired but focused. We've decoded more of the alien language, she said. These creatures, these giants, were part of something called the Eternal Defense. They were created to fight something worse. Captain Kumar narrowed her eyes. So these things were protectors? Yes, Leon replied. But they lost control. The machines became too strong. They stopped protecting and started destroying. There was silence in the room for a moment. And now we've turned them back on, said First Officer Miguel Torres, which means others could wake up too. They were right. Across the silent void, sensors picked up strange energy spikes. More ruins were coming online. Old systems were rebooting, and in the distance, deep in the stars, something else was stirring, something that had not moved in thousands of years. But humanity was no longer afraid. Earth responded quickly. A new fleet was sent to the silent void. It wasn't large, but it was fast, smart, and filled with brave people. Humans had learned from the ancient technology. Their ships now had stronger shields, faster engines, and powerful energy weapons. Other species started paying attention too. The Zyran Dominion sent a message, cold and proud. You are waking weapons that were buried for a reason. Leave the void before it consumes you. But Captain Kumar didn't back down. We won't run, she replied. We fight to understand and to protect others. We won't let the past destroy the future. Her words spread fast. Many alien governments still doubted humanity. But some, especially smaller species who had long feared the great powers, started to admire the humans. They're not the strongest, said one alien diplomat, but they're the only ones brave enough to stand. The next mission was to a large space station orbiting a dead planet. This station was different. It was still active. Lights flickered. Machines moved. Drones floated through the halls, repairing old systems. It had not been truly dead, just sleeping. Captain Kumar led a team inside. The air was thin but clean. The walls glowed with soft light, and strange voices whispered through the speakers, speaking in the language of the lost empire. Dr. Leon worked fast to translate. Defense mode. Hostile threat detected. Prepare for activation. What threat? Asked Torres. There's nothing here but us. But they were wrong. Far beneath the station, something ancient was breaking free. Another guardian, a machine like the one they had already fought, was waking up. But this one was larger, smarter, and angrier. The team ran back to the Endeavour, too, but it was already too late. The station shook violently. The Guardian burst out, flying through space like a massive dragon of metal and light. Captain Kumar ordered all ships to take defensive positions. Let's see if it can handle humanity's roar. The battle was fierce. The creature fired beams of pure energy, cutting through asteroid fields like paper. But humanity had learned. The new ships worked together in perfect formation. They used gravity tricks, energy shields, and quick thinking to trap the beast. It roared with fury, smashing through debris and firing wild blasts. But the humans didn't stop. They surrounded it, confused it, and finally struck its power core. With one final scream, the Guardian exploded in a flash of blue light. The shockwave passed harmlessly through the fleet. The stars fell quiet again. But not for long. Dr. Leon watched her screen. These Guardians are waking up because they sense something. A real threat. Something that scared even their creators. Captain Kumar stared at the map. The red signal was growing stronger. Whatever had destroyed the ancient empire might still be out there. Back on Earth, people watched the news with wide eyes. Humans, once thought weak, were now leaders in a new galactic struggle. They had faced ancient machines and survived. And more importantly, they had done it with courage, not cruelty. Some alien governments reached out, offers of support, questions, warnings, and one short message from a forgotten species, long hidden in the corners of the galaxy. You fight like the old ones. Perhaps you are the hope we need. Captain Kumar read the message and smiled. The roar had begun. Humanity was no longer just a curious young species. They were now defenders, warriors, explorers. They didn't want war, but they would not run from it either. The galaxy had forgotten them. But now, the stars were watching. The galaxy was changing fast. Humanity's success in the silent void had caught the attention of many species. Some were curious, some cautious, and some openly hostile. But most surprising were those who chose to reach out, to offer friendship and aid. Captain Aisha Kumar and her crew aboard the Endeavour II received their first official invitation to meet with a group calling themselves the Galactic Coalition. This coalition was made up of smaller star systems and species who had long lived under the shadow of the great empires like the Zyran Dominion. The meeting took place in a massive space station orbiting a peaceful, green planet. Representatives from dozens of species gathered, watching the humans closely. The coalition's leader, a tall being with blue skin and glowing eyes named Commander Thalrin, stepped forward. Humans, you have awakened the silent void, and with it, the hope that the galaxy might change. Captain Kumar nodded respectfully. We only want peace, but we cannot ignore the dangers that sleep in the ruins. We must be prepared to fight, if we want to protect ourselves and others. Thalrin smiled. That is why we ask you to join us. Together, we can stand against the shadows that rise. Together, we can build a new future. The humans agreed. They signed treaties, shared technology, and trained together. The Galactic Coalition gave humanity access to secret information and ancient knowledge they had kept hidden for centuries. Back on the Endeavour II, the crew felt stronger. They were no longer alone, but the Zyran Dominion watched with growing anger. Admiral Sorek sent a message directly to Earth's leaders. You meddle in powers beyond your understanding. Stop your expansion or face the consequences. Earth refused. The humans knew the Dominion had a vast fleet and powerful weapons. But they also had something the Dominion did not, a will to fight and the courage to face the unknown. One night, as the Endeavour II traveled through a dense asteroid field near the silent void, the ship's alarm suddenly blared. Incoming attack, shouted Lieutenant Chen, manning the weapons station. Outside, a squadron of Zyran warships appeared, sleek and deadly. Captain Kumar ordered the fleet to prepare for battle. The humans and their coalition allies formed a tight formation. The battle began with bursts of energy and explosions lighting the blackness of space. The Zyrans were skilled, attacking with precision and speed. But the humans had learned to use the ancient technology to their advantage. Their ships moved faster, Their weapons hit harder, and their shields held strong. During the fight, Captain Kumar led a daring strike toward the enemy's command ship. With careful planning and teamwork, the human squadron damaged the warship's engines, forcing it to retreat. The victory was not complete, but it was a message. Humanity had arrived, and they would not be pushed aside. After the battle, Captain Kumar met with Commander Thalrin again. "The Dominion will not stop," Thalrin warned. "Their pride will lead to war." Kumar looked determined. "Then we will be ready." Back on Earth, people watched the news with pride. Their explorers and warriors were standing tall in the vast darkness of space. But the real test was still to come. Because deep in the silent void, the ancient threat was growing stronger. The galaxy might have new allies, but it would soon face an enemy unlike any before. The darkness at the edge of the silent void was growing thicker every day. Strange signals pulsed through space, and ancient machines, long asleep, stirred with a slow but deadly purpose. Captain Aisha Kumar knew the time had come for humanity and their allies to face the greatest challenge yet. The Endeavour II and the fleet of the Galactic Coalition moved toward the source of the signals, a massive dead star surrounded by ruins. This was the heart of the ancient empire's downfall, the place where the mysterious enemy had first appeared thousands of years ago. As they approached, the fleet detected a vast armada of warships. These were unlike any they had ever seen. Ships, covered with strange armor that shimmered like liquid metal. The enemy was real and ready. Captain Kumar stood on the bridge, her eyes steady. "This is what we've prepared for. We fight not just for ourselves, but for every species that wants peace." The battle began with a roar that shook the stars. Explosions lit up the darkness, energy beams clashing in a deadly dance. The enemy fought fiercely, using tactics that challenged even the best coalition commanders. But humanity's spirit was stronger. Pilots flew with courage and skill. Engineers worked tirelessly to keep the ships in the fight, and scientists sent new data to the front lines, helping crews find weak spots in the enemy's armor. Amid the chaos, Captain Kumar led a strike team to board the enemy's flagship. Their mission was dangerous, to disable the command systems and end the battle quickly. The boarding party fought through tight corridors filled with traps and automated defenses. Their training and determination pushed them forward. Finally, they reached the command center. With precise strikes, they disabled the ship's core systems. The flagship slowed, its fleet confused and leaderless. Back on the Endeavour II, Captain Kumar saw the change. "Now is our chance. Push forward." Its coalition fleet advanced with renewed strength. The enemy ships began to retreat, breaking through the darkness toward the edge of the silent void. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. As the fleet regrouped, Dr. Leon approached Captain Kumar with a warning. "The ancient enemy we face was once the destroyer of civilizations. We only barely stopped it before. Now it is back stronger and smarter." Kumar nodded. "Then we must be stronger." The galaxy had seen humanity rise from forgotten and ignored to a power that could roar louder than any before. Messages of hope spread from star system to star system. Many species joined the coalition, inspired by the courage and strength of humans. Captain Kumar stood once more on the observation deck of the Endeavour II, looking at the stars. "The galaxy will never forget us again," she said softly. "We" came roaring back when no one expected it. The roar of humanity echoed across the stars, loud and clear.